Welcome, Steve Balbi, to noise11.com. A very interesting show coming up. You make me feel old, Steve, when I hear about Imagine turning 50 years old. But I guess, look, where is it behind me here? Hang on, let me pull it out of the... That's what my mother bought me for Christmas, I think, when I was 13 years old.
Yeah. Well, I've got that record. I mean, what an amazing record in the sense of, Lennon being with the Beatles, and his lyric writing then was amazing. But it was that record, Imagine, is so personal. It's just beautiful. And, I'm sitting there practicing learning my lyrics for the song Imagine. And I just got up. I found a beautiful way to play it on acoustic guitar. I was in the lounge room by myself, and I just got up and went, fuck, what a song. What a song for eternity. It's just so wonderful. Wow. So let's celebrate it, I reckon. Why not?
And imagine the song manages to tell that entire story in just over 3 minutes.
I know, 3 verses of just pure, concise hope and love and poetry. It's amazing.
I mean, when you hear the lyrics articulated in such a concise way, that must be kind of a template, I would imagine, for you as a songwriter. When you go to write a song, you've got a couple of benchmarks to aim at.
Oh man, he's always been a benchmark for me, and on the other hand, for me, has been the David Bowie thing. But you think about some songs on the Imagine record. Oh Yoko, it's all the same lyric, the whole song, apart from oh Yoko, in the middle of the night, I call your name, oh Yoko, your love will turn me on. Then he goes, in the middle of a bath, I call your name. And then it's in the middle of a shave, I call your name. In the middle of a cloud, in the middle of a dream. The rest of the lyrics are all the same. I mean, that's just genius. It's just so beautiful. Such devotion to his love for Yoko. It's amazing.
It's an incredible solo album in that it came off, I guess, this is an album of love. It came off the complete opposite, an album of torment with John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. And then he had 3 very avant-garde albums before that, the Wedding album, Life with the Lions. Imagine was actually the 5th album down the track for John Lennon as a solo project, and there was also a live album, Plastic Ono Band Live, in there as well.
I think, I can get it. John, I think John was a real artist, and I think the commercial success came so easy to those guys. Nothing comes easy, but you know what I mean? It's unprecedented. And I think I reckon he felt like he wanted to sort of lose himself to find himself. And I know that feeling on a personal level, like having really great success with Noiseworks and then trying to make records after that were far from mainstream, just wanting to go so far out. But then you come back and you just, a song is a song, and you find yourself sitting in your natural gift, which is, for John Lennon, I think, Imagine. And I can understand as an artist, and of course, would never compare myself with John Lennon, but I'm just saying, as an artist, I understand those personal sort of that turbulence.
So you will be performing this. I guess you are doing Imagine and Oh Yoko. Is that correct?
Yeah, I am. I'm doing those 2. I think I'm doing another one. How Do You Sleep? Oh, that's not quite a love song. That's I don't think you even need to read anything into it. I think he clearly describes a bit of frustration to McCartney in that one. And
if you've seen Imagine the film, where John is actually in the studio recording that, there's a couple of extra words in How Do You Sleep that he didn't include.
Oh, really? I haven't. So am I correct in saying it's a little dig at his old mate?
It's not a little dig.
Yeah. I know. Even the lyrics that that I've had to learn. So I'm a big McCartney fan too, and it's like, but I understand that as well, John Stevens and I had the same sort of crazy sort of, it's nearly public sort of dispute, and it was recorded on records, and we were childish and immature. We're really good mates, and you go through stuff.
Now you're almost the young bloke on this show, aren't you? With Glenn Shorrock and Russell Morris out there.
I know. Look, it should go okay as long as those guys stay alive. I shouldn't say that. No, I'm the young bloke, but as the young fella, I'm really honoured to be sharing the stage with those guys. They are the real deal. Those people. I was fortunate enough to produce a record for Glenn. We revisited all the Little River Band hits and just revised them, sort of nearly Motown style, and it was fantastic. And I got to know Glenn really well. Man, he'd come in the studio and he'd do 3 takes, and that's all you'd need. You only need one of the 3. It was incredible. And Russell, I don't have the pleasure of knowing Russell really well. I met him a few times, and what a sweet heart, and the real deal as well. I think Wendy Matthews is on it, and my dear brother Erwin Thomas, Jack Jones. We're going to be doing a song together, which is unreal, in the second set, 2 of us. So it's a really good vibe. It's going to be a great show. So excited.
Great show. And, I couldn't help but thinking when you were talking about Glenn Shorrock there, Glenn Shorrock, I had forgotten that you had also produced Glenn Shorrock, but he has also been produced by Sir George Martin, who did one of the Little River Band albums. Yeah. Well, what a great experience. I've never spoken to Glenn about that, actually. I certainly will. Now, over COVID, you got in the studio, and I think I know for sure was the result of getting in the studio, recording new music. But you couldn't tour that at the time. That must have been a very strange feeling for you, who is always out there touring. Yeah, look, I just roll with the punches. I figured if I had to stay at home and couldn't tour, I'd make a record. So I made a record. If I couldn't tour the record, I didn't tour it. I did what shows I could. Funnily enough, it sold really well anyway. And I just make another record and see what this way. I live in this. I don't know if it's since COVID, but I'm really aware of it. I know what I'm doing a week in advance, and my memory goes back about 2 weeks. So I live in this 3-week bubble. It's about as close as I can get to living in the moment. But so I just roll with the punches. I think you can get really caught up in whinging about not playing or COVID this, COVID that. Yeah, it's really messed us all around. But we're humans. We're creative people. We're resilient. Well, I guess there were a few dates that did fall through the lockdown cracks, and you did get to go out and perform some of these songs live, and there will be a live EP coming as a result of that. And this week we heard the first of that with My Sunshine. Yeah, look, it's just one of those things. I've recorded so many live shows, and because there's always a few drinks in between shows, it's hard to get a real roll on with the band, but I've got the most wonderful set of musicians, Jack Housen on guitar, Pete Drummond, Dario Bortolin, and Colin Curry or Scott Applin on keys. It's top shelf, man. These guys are so wonderful. It's just one of those nights where, the ball came out of the hand beautifully. Everything we did was just seemed right. And we happened to record it. Having said that, there's probably about 6 songs. I'm really fussy bastard, There's about 6 songs that I think that are really worth putting out there. So I'm just going to mix them up and put one out, I think, once a month, and then drop an EP. There's also that missing Noiseworks album. I should just give up asking, is it ever going to be released? It just seems to sit there in a cupboard and has done for years. But, hey, I got you here. Will it ever be released? Yeah, well, you plus
thousands of others will be pleased to know we've been having lots of conversations. I think Noiseworks are going to head out the end of the year, and we're going to release the record. We want to head out, and we want to say a public farewell to not the band, but to Stuart Fraser. We want to get out there. We want to make some money. We want to give it to his daughters, and we want to celebrate his contribution to that record. So it just seems the right thing to do. Unfortunately, we didn't do it while he was with us, but I think it's the right thing to do. So I really think by the end of the year, there'll be a Noiseworks record out there. It's a good record. It's a good record, man.
I know. Yeah. I heard it a long time ago.
It did, yes.
The day it comes out, it will be classic rock already.
Yeah, I know. Unreal.
Classic rock on day one.
Here's a new album we recorded 50 years ago.
Look forward to the live shows. We'll be seeing you in many different formats over the next few months, and particularly Imagine in Sydney and Melbourne. So all the best.
Lovely to talk to you, man. Take care.